Welcome to I Love My HBCU ? The podcast where we express our undeniable love for HBCUs, but where we are also not afraid to address a few tough questions. So, sit back, learn a little, love a lot, and rep your HBCU.
All right. We have spent quite a bit of time already in conversation, even before I hit record. I have the lovely JaMya Peoples. She is the first guest from Mississippi Valley State University joining me. JaMya, how are you doing today?
I am doing well. How are you?
I can't complain. Most people who join us know this is Tosin. I'm the host of I Love My HBCU ? I am doing well. I'm excited. Listen, whenever we have a first, I want to just ask you so much information about your institution, but I also want to get to know JaMya. And I've never done this. I want to do it this one time.
Mm-hmm.
And before I get judged, hold on, before I get judged, to all the listeners, to those who tune in and support us, I appreciate you. I'm about to say something that you're going to say, well, hold on, don't you feel that about every single student that comes on? I do. But I read this young lady's bio, which, of course, I read everybody's bio before they come on. And I just felt a flutter of pride in my heart, right? We don't have, the numbers say we don't have as many Black females in STEM. And then she isn't just a STEM major, as in the regular STEM majors. Listen to this. JaMya Peoples is a rising senior at Mississippi Valley State University. She's a biology major with a math minor. Now, if you know me, you know math and I are enemies. Numbers and I just don't speak the same language. So that impressed me already. But she's also the incoming SGA president for MVSU for the 2024-2025 academic year. Now, I could keep going. I could keep going in reading her bio. I'm not going to. She's a Strada scholar. She is a woman in science and technology. I could keep going. I'm not going to. When people tell you that you are impressive, what's your response?
I just say thank you. It is an honor, and I just give all of it to God. If it wasn't for Him, I wouldn't be in the position that I am. So I make sure I thank them for that, and I make sure I tell them that if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here.
So, and this is anyone listening, especially alum, I think they're going to understand. JaMya, I appreciate you, and I want you to always answer in that way and even more. Here's why. If that question were asked of me, do you know what I would have said?
What would you have said?
Oh, that's not that impressive. And the reason why I appreciate your response over my response, and anyone that is hearing the sound of my voice, especially if you are a young Black woman, you must answer like JaMya did, not the way Tosin would have answered. There is something about Black women where when you tell us some of the things that we've done, you give us a compliment. What we try to do is belittle it
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to accepting it. And I appreciate that you are one who accepts the compliment and accepts the adulation that is given of you as opposed to diminishing it. So I love that about you. I'm finding more of your generation doing that as well. Please continue to do that. Please.
Thank you, thank you. It's something that I had to learn. Recently, I just finished my summer program yesterday, so and that was something that they had talked to us about more so like just don't belittle yourself. What you've done, even if you feel like it's not a lot, it is a lot, and
It is
just
a
making sure
lot.
that you just take that accomplishment and you cherish it versus putting it aside. Oh, I could do more, or I could do this. Bask in the moment. Appreciate what you've done. So I definitely
Appreciate
had
the
to learn
moment.
that.
I love it. I love it, and thank you. Thank you for Thank you for reminding all of us that, because I made it generational, because there's several
Mhm.
people in my generation, they're going to answer the way I would have answered. And we're trying to break that.
Right.
But listening to what you said tells me, wait, hold on, Tosin. It might not just be a generational thing. It might just be something that Black women still contend with.
Hmm.
And we need to keep reminding ourselves consistently, bask in the moment. You
Yes,
did
ma'am.
the work. You deserve the adulation. Thank you so much.
Of
As
course.
opposed to, no, this is just how I am. I was just born this way.
Right.
Okay, so, and listen, let me apologize ahead of time to the entire state of Mississippi. But I asked JaMya earlier on, where exactly is Mississippi Valley State University? And what did you tell me?
I told her, I said, it's in Itabena. And then the next question was, where's Itabena? And I was like, well, 15 minutes away from Greenwood. We don't know where Greenwood is. Oh, 45 minutes away from Greenville. Okay, well, everybody knows where Jackson, Mississippi is and Mississippi and Memphis, Tennessee is. 2 hours away from both of those. Now we're somewhere.
So that's exactly how that happened. And I am grateful that you recapped it exactly as it happened. And again, I apologize to the entire state of Mississippi. And it's also why I'm really excited that you're on, because I don't know most of the cities that you mentioned that are in Mississippi. But we should get to know more of them, if for no other reason than all the HBCUs that are
Yes.
in the state of Mississippi. Um, what is it Itabena?
Itabena.
Itabena.
Hmm.
And can listen, let's not just put me out here, okay? Let's put your mom out here as well. Because I remember you telling me that when you and your mom
Yes.
saw the recept, tell the story, tell the story.
So I got accepted into the school, and we were looking at it, and we were like, "Well, where exactly is Itabena?" So she was looking it up because I went to the Alabama School of Math and Science for high school. So it's a boarding school, so I was away from home. So we were on FaceTime. She was looking it up, and she was like, "Maya, all I see is trees. You're gonna be." I said, "What?" She's like, "You're gonna be in the middle of nowhere. Maybe just like a gas station and a Dollar General." And I kid y'all not, as soon as you go off campus, you have the gas station and the Dollar General. I'm 20 minutes away from like the city, like the fast food places and Walmart and things of that nature. But I remember she was like, "You're gonna have no choice but to focus on your education because there's nothing to do."
There's nothing
I
else to do.
said, "Well,
So what is life at MVSU like for you?
life is definitely better than I thought it was going to be because, like I said, it is in the middle of nowhere. So when I got there, I was thinking, like, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to have fun. I'm just going to do my work. And it is not like that at all. And even before I pledged, it still was not like that. Like, I think everyone can attest to the fact that freshman year is always going to be the best banger in your book. Not only because like it was just so lively, and every
Hmm.
time someone asks me what I like about our school, I say the community is very tight knit. It gives family oriented. I just love everything about that because you know everybody. It's not a big school, and then like when you see somebody, it's just a simple hey, bye. It's never any ill will or intent to anybody. So it was just so lively. Everybody could just get along. It was music all the time. People were always out. Like it was just great. And I've never been one to be outside, and I still don't. I don't typically go to parties, but those on campus events, 10 out of 10 would
I
recommend.
love it.
I just love everything about our school.
So I'm curious. So I went to Kentucky State University for undergrad, which most people don't know. It's an HBCU in Frankfort, Kentucky,
Okay.
and that was like centuries ago. But I what I found is, having left there and then come further up north
Mhm.
to Howard University, that there's a southern element about the HBCUs in the South that I don't necessarily think anybody truly feels how
Mhm.
um, family feeling or familial the approach is. But I also want to add to that
Mhm.
the smaller universities probably have that even more in the South. And I'm curious. I said this to you before
Mm-hmm.
we hit record. I want to visit Mississippi Valley State University within the next academic year
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know where it is on the map, and I think that's a bad thing, Tosin. So I'm going to make sure I come down and visit. But I'd love you to share with those who are listening and those who are watching, what is it? What is the secret sauce of the Southern HBCUs that I don't think we will ever know in the North?
Or for one, I'm just gonna put it out there, Fried Chicken Wednesday.
Okay,
Okay, it is
okay,
an HBCU thing. Well,
it
we
is.
call it Pretty Wednesday, but I'd say that yes, some HBCUs have that, but as far as like being in the South, like it's just a homier feel as far as our food and like the connection. Being in the cafeteria, you have music, you have people dancing, you have plenty of food options. It's just amazing. But on top of that, our Pretty Wednesday ties into What's Up Wednesday. So every Wednesday, it's different every time. I know sometimes you have people with tables with informations about their clubs, or like the health center come and give out information. Or I know last year during Valentine's week, they made all the Greeks put out a table and give out things. It's so that again, that family close knit type of feeling. It's just something that you have to get in the South.
Got it. Got it. So it sounds like a consistent engagement of things
Yes,
that bring people closer together and make
definitely.
them feel familial. I love it. Okay. So I want to treat you to our rapid fire segment. I'm going to throw a bunch of questions at you in 67 seconds, and I am looking forward to your responses. Are you ready?
Ready.
She's like, I'm ready. Okay. I love this. All right, JaMya. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Empathetic, determined, real.
I love how she gave it like a split second and just went empathetic. I love it. Okay. This is a good one for you.
Okay.
It might be too late for us to get whoever you're thinking, but let's dream, right?
Okay.
You're at your college graduation next year, May 2025. Who do you want as your commencement speaker?
Kamala.
Kamala, she smiled. Oh, I love the way she said, Kamala. Okay. Kamala Harris, can you
Definitely.
hear the
Please,
excitement in JaMya's voice? She's the
please
incoming
come
SGA
speak for us.
president, Mississippi Valley State University. You already told us Fried Chicken Wednesday, so I'm not going to
Mhm.
ask you what the best meal at your HBCU is. What is your unpopular opinion about HBCUs?
It's not a fashion show every day.
It's not a fashion show
No.
every day. I like that.
People think that it's not a fashion show every day. Now, I can't speak for Howard. I have a couple friends that go there. It is there, but not at all HBCUs.
All right, so I was just told that my time's up, but I'm always going to ask one more question.
Right.
Shout out your favorite. It could be a professor, it could be a staff person, it could be an administrator, it could be another student. Who's your favorite person at MVSU?
Our Travian Elps.
Who is that?
That is my man, my significant other.
Oh, excuse me. Look at the excitement on her voice.
When
All
you
right, tell us about it. Altravian Elps, you said?
It's our Travian. We call him Trey though, so we'll call him Trey.
Trey.
Elps, like Mike Elps, Epps.
Trey Elps. Tell us, because when I say you smiled, like I know who I'm gonna say.
When you
Tell
started
us.
asking the question, I was like, okay, I had an administrator, I had a teacher. Then I was like, okay, I have. But then you said student. I already knew where I was going. We've been together officially 2 years. We've been talking for longer than that. We met my freshman year incoming. So we met during the summer after we were all accepted. Got in a big group chat. Can't go too into detail because it's a long story, but
Okay. Okay.
definitely my favorite person. I love him.
So they do say that some of us find our significant other partner, husband, wife while we're in college. And I think it is beautiful for those who do. Tell us, what is it you love about him? That's number one. But number
Mhm.
two, for somebody as accomplished, somebody as focused as you are, and you've been together now officially for
Mhm.
2 years, what's been the secret to a healthy, I'm going to call it healthy unless you tell us otherwise,
No, it's
and
very healthy.
it's healthy, very, she's like, no, very healthy. What's the secret to a healthy, thriving college relationship?
Okay, well, for number one, my favorite thing about him is that he's just so selfless. Not just when it comes to me or family, but literally anybody. And that goes from on campus, off campus, just in the real world, whenever. He will do everything he can to help if he can. I just love that about him. Even when he has so much going on, he'll still find time to help. Now, as far as number two, the secret sauce, honestly, and I feel like as young people, we hear this a lot, communication, but it definitely is communication and understanding. Now, luckily, he does a lot as well as me. Like, I was in SGA, he was in SGA. I'm the president of my chapter. He's the president of his chapter upcoming. He was vice president last year. So, like, he does a lot on campus. He's also starting his own organization slash club. I'm not gonna put his business out there, but on top of that, he does a lot of other things. Like he was recognized as the HBCU White House Scholar last year. He has an internship. He's a part of a lot of things. So we're both very busy, so that also kind of helps because we both understand that, we're not going to always be able to do what we want to do. But also with some us being in some of the same organizations, we're going at the same time. So then we have like the same schedule kind of. But definitely communication and understanding because you can talk all you want, but you have to understand what you're saying and understand where they're coming from. Like I feel like with him, I've definitely learned that just because I feel some way doesn't mean his way of feeling or thinking is wrong either. We're both entitled to that. So he's definitely taught me a lot as far as like emotionally. And I really just love that, but definitely understanding as well.
Dare I say, you both sound very mature with regards to your approach to your relationship. And I think what I love about what I hear is, I know some people are going to interpret this in a biblical sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's really what I mean, but as you were talking, I hear two people that I don't know you. This is
Mm-hmm.
just Tosin speaking. That are evenly yoked. That's kind of what I hear. That they are actually pace on pace with each
Mm-hmm.
other, which kind of makes things work out a little smoother. I wish the two of you the absolute best.
Thank
And if there's a
you.
wedding and you feel like inviting your soror, let me know because I might come.
There will be a wedding. You
He said
definitely
there
get an
will
invite.
be a
You will definitely receive an invite.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so Jemiah,
Mm-hmm.
you are from Alabama.
Yes.
You ended up at Mississippi Valley State University. There are, if I'm not mistaken, Alabama might have the largest number of HBCUs in one state. I could be wrong, but if they're not top, they're second top. You skipped all of the HBCUs in Alabama and ended up in Itta Mississippi, a place that none of us really know most of the time.
Correct.
Um, tell us your college selection journey. How did you make that?
Okay, so well, for one, I really applied to a lot of colleges because you use the Common App, you can apply everywhere. So that's what I did.
Absolutely.
I've never really had a dream school, quote unquote. So I did apply to all of the Alabama colleges, things of that nature. I got accepted into every college that I applied to using the Common App. And I received scholarships from majority of them, if not all. And I received a full ride from PVAMU, so Prairie View. And then I also received a full ride from Mississippi Valley State University. So my thought process more so was I didn't want to be too away from home because like I said, I like it family oriented because I am family oriented. I love being at home. I love being with my family. So it was definitely the full ride had it played a part, a big part, but also just wanting something different. And I just knew I wanted to go to HBCU because I've been around like I've never really had a predominantly Black experience as far as my education so far. Where I went to high school, like I said, I went to Alabama School of Math and Science. It was very diverse. We had literally everybody. So I knew I wanted something different, and I kind of let my mom kind of take the lead because I'm not very picky. And she's like,
Okay.
"Well, it's a full ride, it's not that far." So that was kind of it. But I also went. I took a tour. I did. I
Okay.
went and toured the school, and I was like, I could do this. It wasn't too big. I was like, I can learn where I'm going. They mentioned the pool. They mentioned a couple other things that I haven't seen, but it's okay. But definitely the tour locked it in for me. I was
Okay.
like, I could do
Okay.
this. This is something I want to do, and that was that. I'm glad I did.
I was going to ask you, well, I wasn't going to ask you if you have any regrets.
Mhm,
Uh, and that's an imposition of my own. I do not believe anybody should have regrets in life.
mhm.
I believe that even if there are things that you would have done a little bit differently, I think we should have learning moments in life and not
Yes,
regrets, because you can't go back and relive and redo most things. So I don't really like the word regrets. I wasn't going to ask you that. What I was going to ask you, though, is now that you went to Mississippi Valley State University, and somebody like you who has had you've had a, I think, based on just reading your bio,
hmm
a diverse experience with regards to meeting students from several other institutions as well. If you were to do it again, so not regret, if you were to do it again, would you still pick Mississippi Valley State University?
I most definitely would. And I know a lot of people can't say that, but I would. Yes, it's in the middle of nowhere. Yes, we don't have much to do, but being at MVSU has opened many other doors and opportunities for me. And I feel like if I wasn't there, I would not have them. Strata being one of my most favorite. I was very shocked when I got that email. They were like, well, you have a presidential academic scholarship. You've also been selected as a Strata scholar. It was very shocking. I remember calling my mom. She was like, "Now, see, if you ain't want to go to the middle of nowhere, you wouldn't have had this opportunity." And she was right. So definitely, like, even if I do have those days where I'm like, "Ugh, I wish I could be," because right now I think it's like a 5 hour drive. If I was like, "Oh, I wish I could be closer," or "I wish I had something to do," I think about everything that I've been able to accomplish while being here that I know I probably would not have done had I gone somewhere else. So I would definitely choose NVSU again.
So as you were talking, I was like, oh my gosh, amazing, amazing. And it reminds me of why I love asking that question, i.e., your college selection journey,
Mhm,
and then would you do it again? Um, I have not heard. Yes, people are different. However, sometimes people do have a dream school. People do wish they had done this and they wish they had done that. I've had a couple of people on, for example, who didn't put their school down at all, but they're like, if I had this to do again, I might have picked Spelman, or I might
mhm.
have picked this, or I might have picked that. So the answers could be that, but most of the answers are very, very different. And I appreciate that hindsight is 2020, but in the hindsight being 2020, many people think hindsight being 2020 only gives you the opportunity to see how you would do things differently.
Mhm.
I think it also gives you the opportunity to truly appreciate what the
Definitely.
experience has been. And depending on the type of person you are, the ones who pick the latter, I think your life literally is about to blossom like crazy, because you're always going to see what to be grateful for,
Mhm.
as opposed to only seeing the glass half empty most of the time. So I love that for you. I know you mentioned Strada. I happen to know what Strada is. Most people don't know what Strada is. What, and I'm saying this so that them, because Strada's got opportunities for students at several HBCUs, and
Mhm.
many of them don't even know that it exists. How would you describe what the Strada Scholar program and being a part of it has meant for you?
Strata for me has meant a lot. It's helped a great deal. I would say because every year they host these conferences, And not only do we get the chance to fellowship and make connections with other students who are, one, at different schools, two, also hold leadership positions so they can help figure out what you want to bring back to your school, and three, are just amazing people. But on top of that, they bring people of different professions, people with leadership positions, people that help you build your resume, build your LinkedIn, teach you how to do an elevator pitch. I never knew what an elevator pitch was until I went to our last conference. And they also have like people to help you make sure you stay on top of your mental and making sure that you take care of yourself, and plenty of other people that come to speak to you. And I feel like that just helps as a student, because for one, like, sometimes you can get so overwhelmed and you don't even realize it until it's too
Yeah.
late. So for
Yeah.
one, that helps you take a moment, listen to what these people are telling you, and take it in. But my most favorite thing about being at any conference and receiving any type of information is being able to take it back to the students on my campus or my friends and things of that nature, because I feel like if it helped me, I know for a fact that it could help at least somebody here. So I really love that. And on top of that, Strata, the name allows me to do things on campus and be like, oh, I'm a Strata scholar, and put that first so you know that I'm doing this and that I'm also representing Strata. And they also help monetarily, which is good because them books are expensive. They are.
Yeah. They
So I
are.
just love the experience that I've had. I would do it 10 times again. Like, I
Absolutely.
just love, and the relationships. And this also goes for any conference that I go to. 9 times out of 10, you always end up in a group chat. And even if that group chat goes silent, when you need something, you can get in there and they will respond like that. I also end up seeing one of my friends, because I do consider these people my friends. I saw one of my friends from Strata at NASAP that I went to before I started my summer program. And it's just so amazing how you can be connected in one way and then be connected in another way. It's just so wild because I didn't expect to see her, but it was definitely an experience. So I just love the connections and things like that.
So, Maya, what you've done without realizing, and I hope every student hears this, because students ask me, I'm sure they ask you,
Hmm.
well, I don't know how to network. What should I be doing with regards to networking? And you said something about the group chat. There's always a group chat. Father, Lord in heaven, there's always a group chat, to the point that, anyway, there's always a group chat.
Sometimes you have
You
to mute it, and that's okay.
Sometimes you have to mute. Thank you. You read my mind. What I wasn't going to say, you read my mind, and I appreciate that. Um, you have to mute the group chat sometimes, but there's always a group chat. And Maya, for every alum that I have
Mhm.
spoken to, do you know where their network really began?
Well,
Right where you are, in the exact same process that you just described. All these different conferences, all these different groups that you're a part of. I love the fact that you said, I do consider these people my friends. Because you will connect with one of them. You won't connect with all 50 people in the group chat. We know that. But you'll connect with a number of people in the group chat. And you know what? For somebody like you, and I hope more people like you, who will grow the relationship over time, you become the CEO of a company someday, or you become whatever your vision is for yourself in life. And you need something. Who are you going to call? One of the members from that group chat. And that's really how your network begins, as opposed to you trying to find people consistently as you grow. So listen, she dropped a lot of gems for the students listening as she was just talking. Go to the conferences, even if you're not presenting. Get into the group chat, contribute to the group chat. Don't be that person that's always irritated and annoyed by every single thing that is brought up. Yes, some of the people are annoying, some of the things are irritating. We know that. We know.
yes, but
But don't be the person that's always irritated at everything. And follow up with members of the group chat periodically, because you'll notice you guys connecting in so many different spaces.
Mhm.
Okay, MVSU has done right by you. You've done right by MVSU as well. What has MVSU done? That's not fair. That is fair. What has MVSU done that you know distinguishes them better than any other institution that you are aware of? Like, what do they get so right? What do they do so well that you're like, this gives you so much pride to be entering into the position as 2024, 2025 SGA president and several of the other titles that you have? Because it can't just be what you're getting out of it.
Mhm.
What do they get so right that makes you so proud to represent your institution?
They care. They care. And I know it's just two words, but like I said, I have plenty of friends that go to different institutions, and when they come to me with their hardships, I'm like, wow, I've never had the experience that. Just because, like I said, they care. They don't want you to fail. They'll do what they can to help. And on top of that, like, it's very interesting to see how these connections that you form can help you in the future. And I don't mean just the people in leadership positions, not just the president of the university, not just your teacher, even somebody that's working in the library. Like, building these connections can help you. I know the lady that's our point of contact for Strata, Dr. Golden, she holds a position in academic affairs, but also with her being over me in Strata, she's recommended me for many other things, many other programs, conferences, positions, just because she's seen me. She knows what I can do and she cares to see me do better. And that doesn't just go for me because I am in Strata. That goes for other people as well. I've seen it happen. I've seen somebody be connected by the people in the fitness center, and they get more opportunities, so they really do care about you. And I know for a lot of students might feel like, oh, they might not feel as comfortable going to like financial aid or talking to different people and things of nature, but that's why I always stress building connections with the people that you wouldn't even think could help. Because if you're going through it, 9 out of 10, you can call whoever you have a connection to, and they'll help you in any aspect, not just what they're specializing in, not just what they teach and things of that nature, but anything that you might need. So I definitely stress building those relationships because these people care about you and they will help you because they want you to succeed.
Okay. As you were talking, I was about to ask something and you actually addressed it, but I want you to go a little bit further. So you are Maya. You've held a leadership position, a formal leadership position at your institution almost from the minute you got there.
Mhm.
So anyone listening could say, well, they know Maya. So of course they want to help Maya because her name pops up in all these different spaces, you know? But how about the student who is a little bit more reserved, the student who is a member of some of these organizations but does not hold a formal leadership position or isn't even a member of these organizations? Because I think when we, i.e., the administrators and the faculty, say it to the students, it's going in one ear and out the
Mhm.
other. What's your advice? And you touched on it a little bit earlier, but I want you to really go there. What's your advice to the student who does not have all the positions, isn't in all the clubs? How do they get access? How do they tap in to also receiving this level of care that you have described? She's smiling.
I
She's ready for
love
this.
I love the question, and I'm going to tell you why I love the question, and then I'm going to answer it. Being at ASMS, which is my high school, I held a lot of positions: SGA, Women of the World, Black Student Union, like so many positions that when I graduated and was going to college, I said, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do any position. I don't want to. I just want to get my education and just chill out. And once I got here, again, my freshman year, I got the email about Strata, and I was like, well, okay, yes, I'll do that. And then it ended up me going to SGA and all these other things. But it's just so funny because my freshman year, a lot of people never saw me. Even my friend group that I came in with, they would see me 2 days out of the 7-day week. And they would always be like, Maya, like, we don't never see you. But when I did come around, it was nobody really knew me. I was very quiet. I stayed to myself, and I've always been like that. But it, my advice I would say is you have to trust yourself, trust God, and take a leap. Because yes, I got a lot from being in Strata, but I also got a lot from being in SGA. And if it wasn't for me taking that leap to running for SGA vice president, I probably wouldn't have a lot of that I have now. So you have to trust in yourself and take a leap. Because I remember sitting in my bed when I realized that I had actually got a call, and it's funny because I was thinking about it earlier. I got a call from my friend who is also my line sister and who was also our SJ president last year, Kajanique Ollie. She called and she was like, Maya, I need a vice president and nobody wants to run, but I know you can do it. I know you can do it. Can you please run? And I was sitting in that bed. I was like, well, I told myself I didn't want to do anything. And on top of it, at this point, I had already taken on a lot. But I was like, I was sitting there and like, I just said to myself, well, you know, you can do it. You have the experience. And I think what really did it for me was one, praying, but for two, realizing I was like, well, you know what? There are some things that I would like to change. There are some things that I've seen that could be better or just shouldn't be happening. So I was like, you know what? I'll run. I won. I did run unopposed, but but nonetheless, I did win. So, and
She's like,
like
I
I
did
said,
run
if it
opposed.
wasn't if it wasn't for SGA, I wouldn't have a lot of things. So definitely believing in
Yeah.
yourself and taking that step. Actually last week I was also in Mississippi and I came across a student. I think she was there for the summer program. And she was talking to me and she was like, you know, like I want to be in SGA, like I want to I said, okay, girl. I said, you definitely need to. I said, so what's stopping you from doing it now? I was like, well, what's your classification? She's like, I'm a sophomore. I said, okay, so what's stopping you? And then, we talked about some personal things, and I was like, and I gave her some resources. I said, you might not know this, but we have some resources on campus. And that's another thing. All students should know what we have on campus, what's open to them. So we talked about that, and then she was like, and I also want to get my GPA up some before I start to run because there is a requirement. We didn't get too into details. I said, okay. I said, well, the quickest way to beat your GPA is to take electives. Take those easy classes to help you, but also make sure you take what's on your academic map. But I was trying to give her some advice, and I was like, I really want to see you be an SGA. And she seemed really nice, and I just really loved that. And I said, I want to see you do this. So I gave her the resources. I said, I hope that you get that up and I can see you soon. Because granted, she is a sophomore, so by the time she finishes that, I'll probably be gone. But I plan to come back occasionally to the school, and I really hope to see her in SGA. So definitely put your foot out there. I know if it was me, I probably wouldn't have stopped me to ask that because of the person I am, but she felt comfortable enough to do that, and I love that. So definitely put yourself out there, take a risk, take a leap, and believe in yourself.
I love the take. I wrote. I write a lot when people are talking on this podcast, because they're just listen. I'm going to learn from a 2-year old the same way I'm going to learn from a 100-year old, and the take a leap part just really hit me in the best of ways, because that could truly be an advice that you give for almost everything with regards to going after things and being a part of things. I also love the fact that you said that you would not have stopped you if it were you. And so, congratulations to whoever this young person is that decided. I think I recognize her. She's from Mississippi Valley State as well. I'm going to ask her a couple of these questions. And you are approachable. I sometimes hear that members of SGA are not always the most approachable at their different institutions. I don't know. This is
I've heard
me
it as
just saying what
well.
I've heard. I don't know, so don't. If you're an SGA, don't come after me like, oh no, that's not true. It's what I've heard, and Maya has heard it as well, and she's an SGA. So this is just an opportunity for those in SGA to do a quick gut check. Am I approachable? Am I not? And you are representatives of the student body. That is literally the purpose of SGA at almost any institution. You should be approachable to almost any student on campus. So I'm glad that you are. I
Definitely.
asked what MSVU gets right. So I'm going to ask the opposite. What could MSVU be doing a little bit better that you think, and you could be part of the solution, especially since you're going to be the president of SGA. What could they be doing? What could they get better? What could they do better that they're not doing well for you right now?
I think MVSU could listen more. And when I say that, I mean the people in the higher positions. Lord, I hope they don't get me. But um, definitely, being an SEA, which is a student-led organization, it gives me the opportunity to be a voice for the students. And a lot of things that have happened, and I've seen it, especially like in the past year or so, the students come to us and we say, okay, we're gonna do what we can, and then when it doesn't happen, they blame us.
Of course.
But we take your suggestions and your concerns. We do everything we can to get it through, get what you all want, and sometimes we get a no. Most of the time, we fight after
Mm,
the no. We
mm.
fight for it, and sometimes it changes to a yes. Sometimes it stays a no. So then, we do have a problem with the students liking to. We're gonna quote unquote bash those in the positions when it's really out of our control. So I think what they could do is listen. Granted, I know that being in these positions and having these higher positions isn't easy, but I just I hope that they trust us to do our position, trust us to lead how we said we were going to lead when we were campaigning. Trust that whatever I'm bringing to ask about is something that I've already thought about, something that I've already have a plan in place. I know how it can be obstructed and things like that. Like just trust us. So I think what they could do more is listen and kind of just give us a couple more yeses for the things that they say no to.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't want us to get too much in the weeds with regards to
Right?
this. Because I listen, you are in a leadership position that I know you've got to be a little careful about the things that you say. Um, I have a qu- I have a follow-up question to this though.
Okay.
She's like, be careful now. My follow-up question is this though. And I anyone who's been listening to the podcast knows that I am proudly the dean of the honors college at Morgan State University, and in Baltimore, Maryland. And I think we do an amazing job. Listen, there's going to be a student out there that's going to be like, "No, Dr. Tosin, that's not true." That's okay. I do think we do an amazing job from the president on down in listening to our students. And something that the president instituted, President David Kwabena Wilson, instituted when he came to Morgan was a town hall that he has every single semester. And I'm curious, and I always ask this because I don't know if it happens everywhere else. You guys do have a town hall at Mississippi Valley?
Yes, we do. We have one in the fall and we have one in the spring.
I love it. I love it. So is it then? Okay, this is where even I need to be careful, right? So if you are having these town halls because they're important, and I've gotten to hear over the years what the students like about the town halls, what they don't like about the town halls. Is it that your students don't feel, or I shouldn't say your students, Maya
But
and her
mhm.
administration doesn't feel that even with such platforms that should make anybody think, oh, well, they're definitely listening to them, that you don't feel as heard as you probably think, or as probably as you want to be heard? Is that a little accurate?
I would say so. So first I would like to say that our town hall meeting, we want our students to be comfortable. We want them to feel like they can come talk to us about anything. And that's not
Absolutely.
just SGA, but anybody on campus. So we have it where our fall town hall meeting is just students only. And the one in the spring, we have the faculty and staff. So they could also offer insight and things of that nature. But I
Ah,
will say that I noticed during our town halls that a lot of the students that did share their concerns and things, a lot of them, like, the answer that they were looking for was in plain sight. So it was kind of like yes. So it's
ah,
like we offer you these, we tell you, we put up things to like kind of help you, and like they just don't look at it. I know a
yeah.
big thing was we asked them, well, are you all checking your emails? Because we send these things to no. Well, also, a thing is when school first started, well, actually, during the summer, I made a QR code to a Google form, share your comments, concerns, and things of that nature. So that was posted everywhere by everyone that I knew. Also, when we got to school in the fall, my president and I, we took the time to make another QR code and we printed them out big, and we put them in every dorm. And on it, it says, questions or like share your things talk to
Yes.
HCA. Every dorm, a big QR code. they didn't really use it like that. So then when we got to the town hall meeting, and they were like, well, I've been dealing with this for X amount of time. And I was like, well, for one, like, you all could come to us, but for two, I was like, for those who don't feel comfortable, I said, we put up a QR code in every dorm. And this was announced when we did it. So it's like you have the opportunity. So more so, we spent a lot of time like kind of just directing them to like how you, because I don't want
Resources,
you,
yeah.
yes, I don't want them to come to me by the time it's the town hall meeting of something that could have been handled when it first happened.
Absolutely.
I would
Absolutely.
love to just go ahead and nip things in the bud versus you holding on to it and bringing it here. And then I know for a couple people that were there sharing concerns, they're connected to me. Why didn't you come
No
to me?
comment. No comment.
Why
No
didn't you come
comment.
to me?
No
I've told you
comment.
these things. So
No
I
comment. What I
that was
like
a
about the
blessing
way
to
you
do that.
address that is that you're spreading the responsibility on both the students, because there's some things that they could do also, as well
Yes.
as administration. Maya, finish the sentence for me. In 5 years, I will.
I will be graduated from med school doing my residency. I'm ready.
Literally, all I had to say is, and that's on period. And I know that sounds corny, but that's all I had to say at the end of that. Good for you.
Thank you.
Maya, listen, you and I could be on this call forever. Like, I wasn't even looking at
Literally
the
all
time.
day.
And I'm like, whoa, Tosin, you are literally eating up all her time. Is there something that you want to share with the audience that I have not done a good job of bringing up or addressing? Would you like to share something special with the audience before we leave?
Well, first I would like to say that we really touched on, I took the time to like prepare myself and I was like, well, what are some questions you got? We touched on literally everything that I prepared myself for. So the only thing that I want to say, not only to my students, but for everyone who's watching, please don't be afraid to come to us. We are your voice. We want to help you. We are here to address all your comments, concerns, and anything of that nature. Don't be afraid to come up and talk to us. And then on top of that, I want to give a shout out. So shout out to my family. Shout out to my man. Shout out to the Epsilon Pi chapter of Alpha, Kappa Alpha, Sorority Incorporated. Shout out to my school, of course. And that's it. I think that's it. If I didn't shout you
You
out,
sure?
well, no. And shout out to all of the faculty and staff on campus. If I went one by one, we would be here all day. I love everybody that I've come in contact with. They've all been so helpful. Even those that kind of gave me a little bit of a hard time. Shout out to you. So, and I love Mississippi Valley State University.
Clearly she does. Clearly she does. So Maya, close out this episode for us in one short phrase or one word. Why do you, JaMya Peoples, love HBCUs?
Together, we rise. Ate 'em up.
She really thinks she did a mic drop there. She did. She did. Together we rise. Maya, it has been an absolute blast talking to you. And you are my first, hopefully you will not be my last Mississippi Valley State University guest, be it a student or an alum. To everybody hearing the sound of my voice, watching or listening, there is no way you don't go ahead and press a like on this episode, not because of me, but because of JaMya Peoples. And I do hope that I have actually earned the pleasure of you subscribing to I Love My HBCU ? Wherever you get your podcasts. Till next episode, yours in HBCU love, JaMya. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This was a great episode.
Thank you.
Bye.
You've been listening to I Love My HBCU ? Let's keep the conversation going as we share our stories and encourage more practical support of HBCUs, whilst of course holding each other accountable. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for the latest episodes. Until next time, love and lift your HBCU.